let's get started. I have a wonderful silver company called Avino Silver, make me and my subscriber very happy. So without further ado, let David Wolfin to talk about Avino story.
Thanks, Chen. Avino was incorporated in 1968, so we're in our 56th year of being in business, over 40 years of production. So all the infrastructure is there. You can see in the picture there's a village in the background there, so people can literally walk to work. We have a clear path to transformational growth. So we own several assets that we're going to be developing and bringing online over the next 5 years. So Avino's primary asset is the Avino mine in the state of Durango, Mexico. It's on the Sierra Madre Silver Belt, surrounded by mines and infrastructure. It's a safe jurisdiction. It's in agricultural farmland, so you're not in some remote area. We don't produce silver bars. We produce a concentrate, which gets sold to Samsung, goes into their electronics. So the project portfolio is made up of 3 assets. The producing Avino mine produced 2.4 million ounces of silver equivalent last year. We're on pace to do between 2.5 to 2.8 million this year. The other portfolio asset is La Preciosa. We acquired from Coeur Mining a couple of years ago, and we're just in the permitting process. We're expecting the permits any time now, so we're excited about that. And the Oxide Tailings Project, our past production, we did a pre-feasibility study and came out with those results this year. So it's a favorable net present value, which you'll see coming up. We got a large endowment of silver equivalent, huge, 371 million ounces of silver equivalent, 43101 compliant. 60% of that is pure silver. These are the catalysts for our growth over the next 5 years. Here's our production. So this year, about 2.5 million ounces. You can see the dark blue, it represents the current operating Avino mine. And then La Preciosa is going to start contributing, and then the Oxide Tailings. So you're looking at between a triple or quadruple of production in the next 5 years. We want to get between 8 and 10 million ounces. Current market cap is close to 200 million. And if you look at Endeavour Silver, they produced about 8 million ounces of silver equivalent last year, and they got a $1.3 billion market cap. So that's what the value is today. Here you can see our production by metal, so transitioning more to primary silver as we grow. But this year it's 46% silver, 20% gold, and 34% copper. Recent milestones: we completed the acquisition of La Preciosa in March 2022. In order to get the permits, you need the blessing of the local people and the municipality there. They're called ejidos. We got that this year, and we immediately filed with the environmental department to get our permit. And we're just doing a archaeological study, which was previously done by Coeur Mining, but they wanted it updated. So that's being done next week, and it'll be filed shortly thereafter. So we're expecting the permits in the next few months, and then we can break ground. La Preciosa, we're planning, if all goes well, we can start the decline. Once we get the permits, we've got all the equipment, and it's only 350 meters to get in to start hitting high-grade material, which we're going to process at the Avino mill. Then we came out with an Oxide Tailings pre-feasibility study. There's a slide on that coming up. We completed 7,500 meters of drilling last year on the Avino property below the underground workings of the mine, and we hit the best intercept in company history. This was 100 meters below the developed area of the mine. We hit 57 meters of 296 grams of silver equivalent. Of that, there was 37 meters of over 400 grams of silver equivalent. In that, there was 3.4 meters of almost 3 kilograms of silver. So the mine keeps getting richer as we go deeper. We're an ESR-focused company. We care about the environment in which we operate in, and we received a special designation for the 2nd year in a row. And one of the key things that we built was a $10 million dry stack tailing storage facility. So we getting away from traditional tailing storage, and now we're currently backfilling the open pit with dry tails. Here you can see La Preciosa, 19 kilometers away from Avino, in rolling farmland, safe jurisdiction, paved road, door to door, plenty of water. We've got a well in between. We've got a dam with millions of cubic meters of water, and in the underground there's water. So we've got that. We've got a 20-kilometer dedicated power line capable of 5 megawatts. We're only utilizing 3. So excess capacity for when we go to build the oxide tailings plant. 100% Mexican labor force. The mine goes back hundreds of years. So villages grew up around the area. So we're fortunate that we have skilled labor in the vicinity. La Preciosa had 1,500 drill holes on it, 90 million spent. We paid 30 million to buy it from Coeur. And when they bought Orco Minerals in 2013, they paid 350 million to buy this project. So we paid 10 cents on the dollar. It's been pin cushioned. All of it's in red, between 150 and 500 grams of silver. So it's all ore grade material. 17.4 million metric tons of M&I, another 4.4 million inferred, makes up the 130 million ounces of silver equivalent. But there's high grade intercepts in there above 500 grams, running in the kilograms. So we're really excited about bringing this project online. We're going to put in a single decline, 4 meter by 4 meter. Rubber tire trucks could go in there. We're going to access all 3 La Gloria, Abundancia, and Martha veins from one portal. So low environmental footprint, which is what the locals liked. When we got the agreement from the Ejidos, we immediately sent equipment over to get the above ground stockpile. This was done in the 80s by Lewisman. Lewisman was run by Eduardo Luna, a big giant Mexican conglomerate that was broken up into Wheaton River and a bunch of other companies that are around today. So we went and hauled this over to our mill, and we're processing it through our plant right now. Here's the oxide PFS on the oxide tailings. I'm running out of time, but this came out in Q1, 61 million post-tax MPV. If you look at the current prices, I mean, the prices they used was 23.45 US silver over here to the right, and 18.39 current prices. The post-tax NPV would be up 75% above this. So it's a great leverage. The cash cost per ounce is projected below $10, all in sustaining $10.23. We'll produce 9 million ounces of silver, pure silver, over the life of the oxide tailings project, and 76,000 ounces of gold. 121 employees directly. We have 450 now. With La Preciosa, we'll have about 650 employees in the next 5 years. We'll pay about 50 million in taxes and 140 million in direct contributions to the local region. Here's our global resource. So 53 million metric tons of M&I, 277 million ounces of silver equivalent. You see the pure silver is 170 million, 800,000 ounces of gold, and 300 million pounds of copper. And then inferred another 23.7 million metric tons. So combining that is 70 million metric tons. We process between 700 and 750,000 tons on an annual basis. So it's over 80 years of mine life. And that's what makes up the 371 million ounces of silver equivalent. Financials, Q1, our revenue is 12.4 million, net income 0.6 million. So we're generating positive cash flow. This doesn't take into effect the rally, really. So Q2 is going to look even better. But we improved. We lowered our AISC down to 2023. So 2.5 million ounces of silver equivalent production on an annual basis, you're looking at $10 in profit. So the future looks bright for Avino. 5 million in working capital increased. Our cash flow is going, our cash balance is growing right now. It's over 5 million, a working capital of 10 million. I'm just running out of time here. So outlook for the year, 2.5 to 2.8 million ounces this year, 700 to 750,000 ounces of production through the mill. Capital budget is 7.3 million to 9. 3 to 4 of that is to put in the decline on La Preciosa. Research. So here's the market cap: 136 million US, 185 Canadian. I'm currently the largest shareholder, so a lot of skin in the game. And we're getting index inclusion now. Titles picked up about 3 million. And as the market cap grows, we expect more index inclusion. So I'm going to ran out of time now. So I'll turn it back over to Chen, but you can see we've there's great potential for the future growth of Avino. Chen?
Okay, great. Thank you, David. Excellent presentation. We already have a question pouring in. If you have additional question, feel free to type it in the Q&A box. Okay, first, I mean, in general, there's a question about the Mexican politics and people, we just have an election, the lady got elected. Can you tell us a little bit, and then what's the impact to the mining in Mexico?
Well, yeah, I mean, people are expecting that she's not going to be as negative towards mining. She's got a PhD in science, so she's going to follow the science. And the economy there, it needs help. So foreign investment. So I think that she is going to really be pro foreign investment. So that's what we're thinking. But for the first year or so, she'll probably toe the line, but she'll want to make a name for herself. And we don't think that it's going to be bad for mining.
All right, good. Sounds good. Because there are people confused. There are even some people say, "Quote, they sell everything in Mexico." I don't. I think it's a good buying opportunity, but we will see. But what I understand is
we're grandfathered. So
exactly, you're a grandfather. Just if you're producing, you have very little impact. If you are exploring, maybe maybe there's some issues, but your grandfather, as you said, and then all these producing mine. And then they're creating tax revenue, creating jobs that it's not impacted. Am I correct?
Say that again. Sorry.
I say existing mine
a chat
who are paying tax and hiring local people will not be impacted.
Pro mining, pro jobs. So we have the support of the local municipalities, the state government. And you're in an area where we're the highest paid employer. So everything favors it continuing.
Yeah, I've been to your project. I saw the face of the local people. They're very happy seeing you. That's great. So going down to the next for the permit, I think people are asking about how that I have. You said you have something going to file next week. So what do you need to do to get the permit, which is very important for your company?
Well, there was just some legacy things from when Coeur had it. So we're just cleaning that up. And that was the finalizing the archaeological study. So it's agricultural. There's no concern there. So that's being submitted next week. But that's the final thing. We've been collaborating back and forth since we made our submission to put in the decline, and there's been no pushback. So we're excited.
Okay, so how soon will you hear from the government? So you submit it next week, and they have a 30-day, 60-day, whatever, to respond, or
when we made this submission originally, they had 90 days to reply, but they already did, and we've been back and forth. So there's that, and then there's the explosive permit. So it's probably another 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months. Okay, great. So you could be the company get a permit and actually send a statement to all the mining community. Mexico is still open for business, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So there's another question from the user: how much leverage do you have? Do you, if silver price increase like I predict, we go to 50, is your basically? I think he's implying, are you hedging, or can you benefit from the rising silver price?
Absolutely. There's no hedging. 371 million ounces of silver equivalent. That's over 3 ounces per share. So $100 in situ value. So you can do the math if it goes to 50 or beyond. And on a PNAV basis, we're below 0.5, and our peers are up over 1. So You're going to see a re-rating in our stock when we get that permit and we start breaking ground, because people will see that we have a path forward.
Well, excellent, excellent. So I saw you have excellent Q1. That's among all these, I was talking to my subscriber. The Q1 could be a ugly Q1, but the Q2 will be beautiful. But you already have a beautiful Q1. So what kind of number can you give us some idea? What kind of phenomenal number you're going to get in Q2?
Well, we produce around 750,000 ounces per quarter, 650 to 750, depends on the grade and mine sequencing. If there's $10 margin in there, it's going to look pretty good.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So you already have $5 million on the balance sheet, right? Your working capital is 10 million. So it seems like you are covered for this expansion, the decline.
Yeah. We're not planning to go out and raise a ton of money for the oxide tailings, because that's several years out. There's just we're going to do a feasibility study on that. So the primary number one thing on our minds is to bring La Preciosa online. We have the engineering team to do that. We have equipment. We have jumbos and scoop trams ready to go. So we will literally start the following day when we get the permit.